You knew this day was coming. It's here.
Let me come with you.
No, I don't want you involved.
Involved? I am involved.
Not anymore.
This Sunday on The Mentalist, Patrick Jane finally comes face to face with the serial killer who murdered his wife and daughter.
And here to talk about it are the stars of the CBS show, Simon Baker and Robin Tunney. We're so overjoyed to have you guys here. And you know, people, when it comes to television, I speaking for myself, love cliffhangers. And so this Red John phenomenon that's going to end on Sunday, are we going to see some fireworks, Simon?
Yeah, I think that, yeah. Well, it's very hard for me to talk about this.
Well, we're not asking you to give anything away.
No.
But
give something away.
Let's move
Give us
on,
something
shall we?
There's a
away.
lot of expectation. I mean, we've spent 5 years, you know, you're on a plane and somebody walks up and you think something's really wrong and they're like, who's Red John?
Yeah.
And I didn't know. And so there's sort of like this idea of closure and it's like things coming to an end. And I think people are really worried because it's the middle of the season, like, is this really Red John? Are you really catching him? Because it's been dragged out for a really long time. And the fans have stayed with us, and I think it's a really strong episode. I was surprised.
And speaking of the fans, they have been obsessed about who Red John is. What are some of the craziest theories you've heard from fans?
That she's Red John.
Really?
You've heard
Yeah.
that? Okay.
I
Has
wish they
anybody
would have
accused you?
told me if I
Has
was.
anybody accused you of being Red John?
Accused me, yes, they've accused me.
Like a fake, you know, scenario where maybe you did it?
Yeah, you know, I look. Part of the whole kind of who is he thing is keeps the audience in the game in a lot of ways, and so yeah, it's a risky thing to catch the guy and reveal who he is and then deal with it from there. But I think it just presents more challenges and creates a lot more interest for the audience in a way of what happens afterwards.
Because I always assumed it would be the very last episode that we found him, because you know it's been everybody's objective to capture him, and I think it's really interesting that they chose to do it in the middle of the year and sort of like what happens after, and what is the show going to become.
Now, Robin, I've always wondered when actors dig into material like this, or dealing with murder and you know, serial killers and things like that. I know that everybody tends to, we want to leave our work at the office. Do you ever have nightmares as a result of your work sometimes?
It's weird. The one thing I'm not so proud of is I've become sort of impervious to bloody dead bodies. I lean over them every week. I've done 128 different dead bodies that, like, they don't even discuss me anymore. It's like another sort of day at the office. Like, people are like, "Ooh, that's gruesome. He's ripped open." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
The nightmares you have are more or less about how much work you have to do the next day and whether or not you're going to be on top of it.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's a big workload. I think that that's a big challenge, sort of every day, and really trying to like bring your best to it, because it is an enormous amount of work. But luckily, we have each other.
And you also have a really fun set to work on too. I hear the environment is just, people are just having a good time working together. Yeah.
I mean,
Most days.
Yeah.
Most days. Okay.
You know, I thought about it yesterday. I was thinking about how, like, you know, in the future when I no longer go to work every day, I got very melancholy, and I thought, I'm going to miss just the sort of the camaraderie of the crew that that we work with, and I take all those relationships kind of for granted because I just sort of go in every day and do 12
And
hours.
it does become a family. Like, these people have been a part of your life for so long. So yeah, there's sort of there's a sadness, you know, sort of that ending. It's sort of
and this little one.
We want to thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming by. I know it's early, but we're glad you're here. We want to remind you to watch the new episode of The Mentalist right here on CBS2. It airs this Sunday at 10 p.m., followed by CBS2 News at 11 o'clock.
We didn't find out much either, did we? We didn't get it.
pencil.
Yeah, so we'll have to tune in.
thinking about Red John.
Thank you.